So you're sharpening your skates up, Luke?
What?
It's, from what I understand, it's about the winter season in your native land.
Why did you start this already?
Winterland what? What do you...
You already started.
I'm from Carroll.
We're ready to turn on and start shooting, and you have to make a crack about how you hate the South.
No. I don't know what you're talking about, John. I thought you were supposed to be the neutral
I'm
party.
not calling it down the middle. You started something, Patrick.
You know, the only reason I even came on this week is because you sent Joe down to talk to me. I mean, you brought in Joe to talk me on to coming on here, and then you start on me as soon as
Joe is a reasonable person, not like your thugs that you employ in your redneck protection.
But that's okay. That's okay. We can talk about pertinent things. This week's
I've
Raw.
hired Thug in a long time. Maybe I should bring on the Thug.
Maybe you should.
Those goons you've got, he would fit right in.
This week, Kevin Nash on Raw to explain his actions from the pay-per-view.
Well, we didn't get to quite see what happened at SummerSlam, so in case...
Quick recap that.
The big finale match, CM Punk pinned John Cena. Cena's foot was on the ropes, but Triple H counted at 3 anyway. After the match is over, Punk's celebrating in the ring. Kevin Nash comes down, waylays Punk, beats him down, leaves him laying in the ring. Alberto Del Rio immediately cashes in Money in the Bank and simply pins Punk. 1, 2, 3. Alberto Del Rio is your new champion.
Which is a fine choice. I really like Del Rio.
Del Rio's a good heel, good champion. At least it's not Cena. That's all. My big opinion. That leads into this week's Raw and Kevin Nash's explanation of why he took that course of action.
First off, I gotta give a lot of credit to Nash and Punk. They had some mic work that was old school.
Also, Kevin Nash, good job with the hair dye.
You look so much better with black hair.
Yeah, it was awful. You being all silver, you looked like some sort of angry
Silverback gorilla.
or Santa Claus.
You would say Santa Claus.
You know, I'm not surprised you come up with Santa
So
Claus.
he's your neighbor.
He was from Turkey.
You went
The
to
North
Turkey
Pole's
for a
in
long
Turkey
time,
now?
And then you moved from your North Pole rotation.
St. Nicholas lived in Turkey. It's very hot.
You
there.
moved way up north.
Because living in Turkey and wearing fur is terrible.
That was the Germans did that.
I'm not even gonna
Your
call me.
geography is really off.
Not even gonna call
I'm
me.
not sure what they teach us in Canada. But you got the North Pole between Turkey and Germany now?
What are you talking
No,
about?
you're the one that said it. This gets back to Rob.
Back to Kevin Nash.
He starts this stuff all the time. I've never seen him.
Kevin Nash claims he gets a text from Triple H that says, "I don't care who wins the match, stick it." Kevin Nash, being Triple H's best friend, comes down to the ring and jackknifes the guy.
Yeah. That ended the reign, so we'll see. I'm not sure what Triple H's angle is in this. There may be a power struggle.
Well, then,
going on.
Well, interestingly enough, Triple H goes to Triple H's office after the interview session.
Right. And he walks in the office. Triple H isn't there. But you know who's there to greet him? Triple H's Thug.
John Larentis.
Who says, you know, you're getting booked all wrong. If I was booking you, I would have you, he didn't really elaborate on screen because he stopped and says, hey, why don't we go to my office where we can talk more privately?
Well, so I guess there is a behind-the-scenes power struggle.
Then later on Raw, we saw CM Punk going to Triple H's office.
Where Stephanie
was waiting on him and having a similar kind of, she basically said that the power struggles is pretty much in her control almost. It's kind of what she alluded to.
I'm going to
Maybe even inferred.
take a possible guess. It may not be right, but this is going to turn out to be an angle that Vince is trying to run the WWE through Lauren Titus, maybe.
Or that Larentis is actually trying to take it for himself.
That would be more intriguing. But
So probably it won't be that.
I'm going to guess it's the Vince angle because McMahon never likes to give up any kind of control, even fake control of things.
So it should be interesting. And this week's Raw has been referred to as and Epic Raw.
No, that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, it's just, they're always going to have it that way. I'm just happy that John Cena didn't win the title.
Unfortunately, it has alluded to a series of matches between John Cena and Del Rio.
They were building that up for the last month before this.
After all, he was the #1 contender and Money in the Bank match.
Now,
I'm sure that since he's a Del Rio's a heel, that they will, of course, try to make John Cena look popular by fighting him. But
It's not.
on a side note, Rey Mysterio Jr. is going to be out for a while after the post-match beatdown at the hands of Del Rio.
Yeah.
Del Rio is the superior Mexican. He proved it again. A series of wins over
You
Rey,
know,
and then this beatdown.
Rey Mysterio's from LA.
I'm pretty sure.
Lower Alberta. That's what we've been telling you for weeks now. That whole section is.
See, now your geography's off. Now your geography's off because 619, where he claims to be from, is the area code of San Diego.
He claims to be from San Diego. He's not.
Well, that's okay. I realize you're lacking Canadian education of American geography would be.
He snuck over the border from Lower Alberta, moved north. Tried to claim he's from San Diego. Del Rio is the superior of the two, is all I'm trying to say.
Now, on the
You don't have to
TNA,
get so offended by everything that's about Canada. You don't have to make everything about Canada all the time. You always try to make everything about Canada.
I don't make anything about
Let's talk about TNA.
on the TNA side of the coin,
It's hard to be neutral at this point.
Beer Money Incorporated.
Lost the title belts.
Yeah. 8 months
In
ago.
a very strange turn of the events at the very end. It was strange because first, Jeff Jarrett didn't want to get involved, and then he got involved.
Of course, Mexican America, which is a pretty good team in themselves, are the new champions.
I'll say this, it's rare for title reigns to last more than a couple of months these days, of anything.
What are you talking about? John Cena had the belt for like 5 years.
No, he would lose it for a week and then gain it back the next week.
Or a day.
Because
Oh, he's not the champion today.
he just kept getting it back. But actual uninterrupted reigns are rare these days. And anybody that actually cares about the tag team titles are just as rare these days. So I'm glad TNA actually cares about their tag team titles.
I love tag team wrestling. It's something we grew up with. We grew up in the era of great tag teams too.
There was some great tag teams.
Another encouraging sign actually from WWE to me, and I don't know how it will work out, is they've been alluding to some old school managers lately.
Right. Vicky Guerrero, for example.
Jimmy Hart was at SummerSlam, and
This week, Vicky Guerrero, of course, she manages Dolph Ziggler. And Jack Swagger, who's actually a favorite of mine, explained to her that all the great managers, such as Bobby the Brain Heenan and Classy Freddie Blassie, had multiple members of their stables. So, and you know what? Vicky obviously knows some wrestling, knows some history, tradition.
Yeah, I had multiple members of my stable.
You Canadians are traditional
Yeah,
what?
But they all hated Patrick, which is one of the things that we all agreed on.
Hater, don't be tripping.
You probably have your little protection agency right now lined up with people.
While you're tripping, I'll be bacon flipping.
You know, there's probably at least 10 very misguided people out there who hate the perfect man.
I was saying
It's
anyways.
his Florida ways.
Probably
That
10.
offend
I mean,
people.
you know.
I mean,
I
his
don't know what
Florida
you're
ways,
talking about, Florida ways.
his
It's just-
Florida ways offend.
He is very short.
I occasionally spend some time in Jacksonville. I got people there. Dog Destructo is there. He
jet
runs the
sets
program.
around the world. And when you have to
Around the world, you mean
you
Florida.
have to go to program headquarters sometimes. Come on.
And by
I
around
mean,
the
we
world,
don't
you
say
mean
anything
Florida.
about your weekly trip to Saskatchewan.
Look, Boris, when he was a member of the program, came from Moscow to Jacksonville. Sonny Blaze, when he was the Antarctic heavyweight champion, came every week from Elephant Island, Antarctica.
Florida is a hotbed of wrestling.
It is, always has been.
See,
Kevin Sullivan used to have a
he
tremendous
admits-
show.
If you're on the
he'd
tour,
rather be
South
from
East.
Florida than Tennessee.
I have
At least
solid
in his,
person.
I'm proud.
He's from Tennessee.
I'm proud
Unlike
to
your
be from
Canadian.
Tennessee. I'm like, Canadian?
I saw the birth certificate, man.
Do you need me to bring it on next week? Would you like?
Yes, I would like to
Superstar.
bring this great document that Eric Charles created at
Superstar, you
Patrick's house.
FedEx the birth certificate down.
FedEx, he created it at Patrick's house several years ago.
Eric in Chicago. How could he have done it?
He got it from Saskatoon, the interior Canadian ministry.
They're a very traditional lot.
He didn't know such thing.
He said, I called the ministry at Canada.
I don't care what he said. I don't care what he says.
You're considered, sort of menaces to the rest of the world, so you have to be tracked.
That's why we make you handle their pennies.
Canadians are tracked.
Anyone that's ever handled a U.S. penny, the government has registered their
I'm
DNA.
referencing his extreme
That's why they still make them.
investigative methods. They were flaws. They were flaws. He's actually probably one of the top 5 most competent investigators you'll ever run across. He's like Sherlock Holmes and Mike Henry rolled into one.
Whatever.
But the looks of Magnum P.I., the dressing of Sonny Crockett.
Have you actually met this guy?
Oh, I've met Superstar several times.
He brought us pizza in Chicago.
He's a flashy individual. He knows his
Because like I
stuff.
said, sometimes I got a jet set all over the world.
He was limousine riding and jet plane flying, and so was Superstar.
In fact, I may head out for Barbados after this.
I wish you would.
He was chauffeured all the way from here to Chicago. Personally, not by just the greatest of drivers,
Right.
the Dancing Steve.
The Dancing Stevie, yes.
September 21st, it is official. I've actually talked to people that have tickets. Speaking of TNA, they will be in Knoxville at the Civic Coliseum. Could Wrestletalk maybe be there? I think maybe.
We're hoping for
Or
it.
take even possibly.
Hopefully if TNA don't discriminate against people from north of the border, we'll be fine. If they
Well, I mean, they have, I'm sure they have some Canadians on the roster. There's Canadians all over wrestling.
They did infiltrate.
Now, speaking of TNA, from what I understand, they recently signed Kid Cash, former ECW and WCW guy from Kingsport, Tennessee. And also, from what I understand, the king of Knoxville, Shane Williams, will be making the jump to TNA soon.
East Tennessee flair, TNA.
Well, David Young, born in La Follette, Tennessee, raised here till he was about 12, moved to Georgia, is a former TNA superstar.
You still see David around occasionally. Comes in.
David tours. David tours the West Coast a lot, Japan, Mexico, your lower half.
Lower Alberta, as you called it earlier. Yes.
Fans, that's about all there is to talk about on the national scene. We'll be right back with TXW, ERA,
Please.
Nitro,
This next try not
KFW,
to bring up Canada
all of
in
it.
every
We'll be right back.
Try it once.